WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now. Good evening, and welcome to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Jolie Santiago.
And I'm Kyle Spizak.
Tonight, the accused Buffalo mass shooter pleads guilty in state court to charges such as murder, domestic terrorism, and attempted hate crime.
Thanks, Nick. High inflation rates are weighing down on Americans, with nearly everything getting more expensive. Data shows consumers are relying more on their savings accounts and credit cards. New data released by the Federal Reserve suggests that American consumers borrowed another $25 billion in September. Borrowing in September increased at a seasonal adjusted annual rate of 6.4%. Revolving debt, including credit card debts, grew by 8.7%. Meanwhile, non-revolving debt, which includes student loans, increased by 5.7%.
Today and tomorrow is El Día de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead. Celebrations are meant to remember the deceased. The holiday is celebrated across Mexico, as well as in New York, Spain, and Los Angeles. The holiday dates back to the 11th century, where it was held to honor believers of Christianity. Last year, over 21,000 people participated in the celebration. Good evening, and welcome to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Jolie Santiago.
And I'm Kyle Spizak.
Today, SUNY Oswego is recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day. The day also falls on Columbus Day and is meant to honor the people who were already living in the country when Christopher Columbus arrived in 1492. Hundreds of years later, the influence of Native American culture is still seen in modern American culture, including right here at SUNY Oswego. The United Nations Climate Change Conference, known as COP27, is happening in Egypt. World leaders are set to discuss whether poorer countries, which have been hit by climate disasters, could be compensated by wealthy nations. The president of the EU, Ursula von der Leyen, says this is a big step forward, but says there is more work to do. Activities in the southern Mexican state of Guerrero are slowly returning to normal, 5 days after a military attack where 20 people were killed. State authorities say they are increasing their federal patrols and National Guard troops to keep the area safe.
It has been 2 days since the election, and we still don't know who is controlling Congress. Good evening, everyone. I'm Casey DeSalle.
And I'm Jolie Santiago, in for Jocelyn tonight. There are promising results for the Democratic Party. The anticipated red wave that was supposed to sweep Congress did not have the strength that was first thought. However, the election is not over yet, with votes being counted as we speak. Currently in the House, the Democrats have 189 and the Republicans have 209. To get a majority, a party has to reach 218 seats. Tonight we have all the latest on the man who allegedly broke into Nancy Pelosi's home, the charges he could face.
Plus, a beloved SUNY Oswego cafe could be coming back. Our reporter Zach Newsy has the latest.
And an upstate New York resident became a millionaire overnight. We'll find out how.
It's Tuesday, November 1st.
And I'm Jolie Santiago, in for Sydney tonight. Federal prosecutors are charging David DePape with attempted murder following his break-in to Speaker Pelosi's house last week. The charges brought against DePape could land him 13 years to life in prison. Officials say DePape struck Pelosi's husband with a hammer, causing his skull to fracture, as well as other injuries in his arms and hands. Oswego is seeing some new renovations. Today, Mayor Billy Barlow cut the ribbon with Tony Pauldine and his company for the 249 lofts. The new living spaces are located in the former YMCA building. Tony Pauldine and his company purchase old vacant buildings and give them a new look, much like they did with these new lofts. The race for New York State governor is heating up. Republican candidate Lee Zeldin has agreed to debate with Governor Kathy Hochul. The candidate is agreeing to enter the arena after weeks of attacking Hochul for agreeing to one debate on Spectrum News. The debate will come just days before New Yorkers start making their decision on who to elect as governor. WTOP-10 Assistant Chief Meteorologist Nick Cusano is here in the studio tonight with a quick look at the weather this week. Today is Cyber Monday, but as shoppers start their holiday shopping earlier than ever, is Cyber Monday still a thing? Data from Adobe Analytics shows online Black Friday sales in the U.S. topped a record-breaking $9.12 billion this year. Jen Sullivan has a look at why Cyber Monday could be losing its appeal. the holiday season just around the corner, Rockefeller Center is announcing this year's tree is from Queensbury, New York. It is a Norway spruce estimated to be 85 to 90 years old. The tree stands at 82 feet and weighs 14 tons. It is expected to arrive in New York City on November 12th, and the tree lighting will take place on November 30th. Thank you, Brianna. Across the country, several Halloween celebrations ended in violence. In Chicago, police are investigating a drive-by shooting that left 14 people shot, including a 3-year-old.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News.
Here's your health and consumer report.
A shocking number of American secondary school students are using tobacco products. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the CDC reviewed information compiled from the 2022 National Youth Tobacco Survey. The report found that more than 3 million secondary school pupils reported using tobacco products this year. Researchers warn products containing nicotine can harm a youth's brain, along with increasing their risk of addiction to other narcotics.
The Supreme Court is denying a bid by Senator Lindsey Graham, who is asking to block a Georgia grand jury subpoena. Georgia's Fulton County Special Grand Jury is looking into efforts by former President Donald Trump and his allies to overturn the state's 2020 election. The court says upholding Senator Graham's bid protects him from being questioned about legislative activity. Graham will testify before the Georgia grand jury on November 17th.
Ben Bernanke, former Federal Reserve Chair, just received a Nobel Prize in Economics. He shares the award with Douglas Diamond and Philip Dybvig for their work on banks and financial crises. The award committee says the foundation of their work shows people why we need banks and how their problems can cause financial meltdowns. Bernanke received the award for his research on the Great Depression. For our final story of the night, Merriam-Webster has chosen its word of the year. That word is gaslighting, and that's no lie.
Merriam-Webster says people looked up the definition of the word dramatically more this year than in previous years.
As the weather cools down, the holiday season is heating up in the kitchen. And today is National Cinnamon Day.
Oh, yeah, just to put it with Krispy Kreme.
Oh, that would be great.
Come on.
How was your Halloween?
Not too bad. Didn't really do much, but I mean, it was fun. What about you?
It was great. I had a great time. How about yourself?
It was okay. I kind of wish it still felt like when we were kids, you know?
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's true.
Yeah.
How about you, Brianna?
I wish I went trick-or-treating, but I didn't. But it was a pretty solid Halloween. I loved all the costumes on campus.
Good. All right. Well, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Lake Night.
For all of us here at WTOP-10,